Hey guys, what's up? It's Pop Rocks, and today I have a video that's a little bit different from our normal shtick. Because as you know, if you've seen my videos, normally I do hero concepts for either Overwatch or recently I did quote unquote recently, I did a One Piece hero shooter of my own, like conceptually. So I made a bunch of concepts for those. And by the way, if you haven't seen those, please go watch them. It took me a lot of time and I put in a lot of effort, and I think some of it good. So with that, let's get into what this video is really all about. So in today's video, I'm going to talk about a Overwatch custom game I've made. I call it Verticalwatch, and I'll tell you what it is in essence. Basically, imagine all those dive heroes. You got your Lucios, your Genjis, and then you got the other people like your Reapers, Sims, Mays. You take all those characters, Hazard, them too, throw them out. We don't need them in this game mode because this is called Verticalwatch. We're giving everybody out vertical mobility. Examples being Junker Queen, Cassidy, and Ana. Those are some examples of who is in this game mode. So yeah, and I'll actually get into the nitty gritty of exactly who we have and what they do. Firstly, real quick, I made this a few months ago, and then I just came back and did some UI touch-ups. So we are going to start with our first tank of 8, Junker Queen. Basically, what Junker Queen does is when you use commanding shout, your jump becomes 220% of its normal height during its commanding shout, just so that way it's easier to get to high ground and off high ground. Like I said, get up to high grounds mostly. But it could be cool if you jump up to a high ground, jump up to a fire axer killer. That would be a pretty sick clip. And I did some playtesting a few months ago, and people found some tech I did not know about. Not for Junker Queen, but for the next one. The next one is in fact Mauga. Now, I call Mauga's ability Slam Up. Basically, when Mauga uses his overrun, if you hit A at the end of your overrun, like right before you hit the ground, you will jump up high in the air, so it's like you can slam onto high ground, but if you press jump right after that, you get launched even higher up. And I think that's because I had it set to an impulse, so I think the impulses stack since Mauga is forced to touch and slam into the ground. So then afterward you get launched. It's crazy. People found it immediately, so I figured I'd just say it now. Our next tank is Orisa. And Orisa's is pretty simple. You've seen it in the April Fool's game modes. I call it Javelin Flight. She just flies forward with Javelin Spin. It's pretty simple, and it works almost exactly like it did in the April Fool's or in Stadium. I think she has it too. It's a little bit finickier just because the way the workshop works. I'm having a constant impulse, so while it's not stuttering per se, it is being weird. So if you're on the ground, you won't go very fast, but then as soon as you look up even a little bit, you go really fast. So just some warning on Orisa. Now onto our halfway points of the tanks, we have Ramatra. I call it anti-air nemesis. Basically, when you're in nemesis form and you hit block, you go up into the air. Pretty simple. Let them get to high ground, maybe shoot, maybe just punch a Pharah in the face if you really don't like Pharah, but that's just me. Yeah, there wasn't really any tech to anybody but Mauga so far. So, if you find some when you try this game mode, please do that after you watch this video. It would help me a lot. It is on the official Workshops game. It's on the official Workshop website. Just put Overwatch Workshop codes. It'll be right there. It's called Verticalwatch Pop Rocks. So yeah, go play it after this video. Following Ramatra, we have Reinhardt with German engineering. Basically, when you use your charge ability, you can press jump and you'll get impulsed into the air. Now, here's the tech to it. As soon as you press charge, hit A to immediately go up in the air, and you can spam A as much as you want. Sorry, jump. Spam jump as much as you want. Now, when I was doing Reinhardt's, because this was the first one I did, I was like, maybe I should add some sort of cooldown or something for some of these Reinhardt's, but I was like, no. It's so much more fun to watch a Reinhardt go boing, 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 boing throughout the air. Way funnier, if you disagree. Okay. After our German boy, we have Roadhog with Hoglium Balloon. Roadhog will float when using Take a Breather. Now, here's the thing. He has a tech, like Mauga has a tech. Roadhog has a tech for this, where you just feather it. So you just press it, let it end, press it, let it end, press it, let it end. It will actually let you stay in the air for a very long time, though I would suggest starting by jumping off of high ground, or into the air off of a high ground, so that way, you actually have time to stay in the air, because otherwise you'll just plummet. After Roadhog, we have one of the most boring names in Sigma is gravity manipulation. Just when Sigma jumps, his jump height is doubled, almost like Junker Queen, but not quite. But he has 30% less gravity, which I'm pretty sure lets him get more height than Junker Queen. Sigma's so simple, like really, how else would you really do it aside from the float perk? Lastly, for our tanks is Zarya, and I call her ability Bubble Boy. Basically, Zarya floats up into the air while holding jump during particle barrier, which is her self barrier. So it's like similar to Roadhogs because a few of these are pretty similar. Like Ryan and Malga have to use their charge ability, and then Zarya and Roadhog float. But Zarya can actually float way higher with a single bubble, and that's because the only requirement is that you jump up into the air, you either have particle barrier on you, or jump and put it on you, and then just hold A, or jump. That's all you need to. And then look at that, you're soaring through the sky. Now onto the first of our only 4 DPS, which by the way, if you weren't keeping track, we only have 8 tanks. The first of our 4 is Cassidy. Now, Cassidy's ability is called Roll On Up. Basically, Cassidy will use combat roll and then he'll get impulsed into the air at the end of his combat roll. Pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory. I don't think this needs much. I think Cassidy is one of the only ones where it'll bug if you get like javelin spinned or flash banged during it, just because no matter what you do, you will still be launched up. So even if you get flashbang, speared, whatever, you'll get launched upwards. So just keep that in mind when you're playing. After Cassidy, we have Soldier 76, and I call it Super Soldier, one of the other really boring names with gravity manipulation. We have Super Soldier. Basically, Soldier 76's jump is 180% during sprint, which means he has an 80% increase. And you will see in the next one that this is very similar to another hero's. You could say identical. Torbjorn's. I call it Lindholm Engineering. Basically, Torbjorn's overload increases his jump by 80%. Yeah, him and soldiers are the exact same because I could not think of a way to make them unique. I could have increased the knockback on soldiers' Helix Rocket, but I don't know. That just felt too simple, too boring. What I wanted to do for Torbjorn was make it to where when he places his turret and he was on his turret, it would launch him up. But I am not that good at workshopping, so we do what we can. But I think you guys will like the next 2 of these because we have our last DPS and then our first of 3 supports. By the way, we only have 3 supports. So if that tells you who has the most mobility, yeah, it does. For our final DPS character, we have Tracer. I call it pilot training. Basically, Tracer launches herself into the air with quick melee. The reason I did this is because, again, I couldn't think of anything for Tracer, because, I could have spent, hours, days even trying to figure out how to do an omnidirectional blink, but I was going for fun and silliness, and I was like, what's sillier than her just randomly just soaring into the air by punching the air? I mean, it's funny. It's especially funny if you punch somebody and there's like, where the heck did she go? Now on to my favorite of the names with Anna. I call it Tracer's Flying Lessons. It is literally the exact same as Tracer's. Same thing with the Torbjorn and frickin' Soldier 76. I couldn't think of anything for Anna. I did think about giving Anna like maybe a double jump or a wall jump. I would have loved to give her a wall jump, but again, beginner workshopper, so we do what we can. On to our second of 3 supports, we have Brigitte. Now, I call it Grapple Whip. Now, I know what you're thinking. Oh, is it going to work kind of like Roadhogs does in the April Fools or Junker Queen, where you throw the thing and then you go to the thing? No, that'd be silly. What do you think I am? Good at the workshop? No. Brigitte's whip shot brings her with it a little. It doesn't say that in the description, but it does say it brings her with it. So basically when you use it, you'll get impulsed towards your facing direction, aka your whip, because I was like, I mean, it's a rocket flail, so it might pull you a little. So yeah, hopefully you can figure out a fun way to use it. Last, but certainly not least, we have Zenyatta. Now, just like with Orisa, it's from the April Fools, and I call it Airball. Basically, Zenyatta floats in the air when charging Orbital Destruction Volley. It's self-explanatory. It's just the April Fools stuff with Zenyatta where you can float into the air. I feel like that's pretty pretty fair. I wish I could have given Zen the thing where if he's looking down, he uses melee instead, but again, beginner workshopper, we have our limitations. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the video. I was wanting to do a different type of video, but I just have been so behind on like making a video this month that I figured I'm gonna try to get it done next month. So, if you want to go play my workshop game mode, it's called Verticalwatch. I have it posted on the Overwatch workshop codes website, and I believe I also have it pasted in the Discord. So go to those if you want to play Verticalwatch. It's just called Verticalwatch. It's under Pop Rocks, and it'll be like on Blizzard World with the two crystals. And if you look real carefully, there's Zenyatta floating. I could have done a better one, but you know, it is what it is. Anyway, I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.